You're tuning in to Past Our Prime, a show powered by Squad Locker.
Let's be great. Let's be great.
Here are your hosts, retired Astros minor league star Tip Fairchild and former Patriots All-Pro center Dan Copen.
Go rock this thing, huh? Love you, man. Let's go get it.
You can't have that. That song isn't on there, right?
Just a tiny bit of it.
Just a tiny
bit
seconds.
of it.
Just
Gets
a little,
me excited.
Just a little bit. All right, episode 61. He's Tip. I'm Dan.
61.
61. Steve Neal. We're powered by Squad Locker. Today we have Matt and Pat, who founded Grinds, which is an alternative to chewing. Phenomenal story. Great guys. Had a good talk with them, so that's coming up.
Mm-hmm. The episode is sponsored by Grinds. www.getgrinds.com. They fire out a 15% off, I think, for first-time users or something like that. I've seen it pop up on the thing, so jump on there and get it. And if you want to quit dipping, if you want to
more energy,
give yourself energy, because it's like a quarter cup of coffee, I think they said, for the doubles are a half a cup of coffee. Yeah. If you want energy, or if you want to have that oral fixation of like maybe dip or something else that is not healthy for you, where this is a healthy alternative. So they were on Shark Tank. They're baseball guys. They've saved a ton of lives. Truly,
I believe that.
Right?
I believe that.
And we as we talk about it, we like the business side of what we do also, where yes, we like to talk about the locker room stuff, and yes, we like to talk about the stories, but this is they mentioned it in the interview. I don't want to blow it all, but this was like a project in college that they went back to and had like basically kind of no cash for. They won something and then have turned it into a successful business.
Yeah,
so
it's a really cool story.
Yeah.
So we will get to that. Did you see?
Plus, they send us some great stuff.
Yeah, a couple T-shirts, hats.
I wore a 2XL this weekend.
Well, your beard is looking quitey mighty right now.
Oh, this beard is
quite mighty
for the
at
YouTubers.
the moment. Oh my gosh!
Is it coming in strong?
Oh, I mean, you are. Yeah, it's strong.
So I'm thinking. So we have a board meeting.
I'm not even shitting you right now. I'm not even making fun of you. It's an impressive beard.
It's only like 15 days.
Well, I mean, you should see his back.
Yeah, exactly. So you should So what I do plan to do, we have a board meeting Thursday. I'm gonna have it nice and cleaned up. So it'll be a nice clean beard. And I am thinking over the weekend I might just shave in the mustache. I've never just had a mustache before. I'm thinking it's going to provoke some laughter and response. What would you think?
I think it's going to be good. Look, I wish I have trouble growing sometimes.
Yeah, you have
in the
a little.
middle.
You're thin on the mustache.
Thin. So if you're gonna grow a mustache, you've got to be full. There's it can't be like
spotty,
like Adolf Hitler in the middle.
Yeah, it can't be spotty.
It can't be spotty.
Yeah,
and then you have like two things down the side. Now I've got it. I'm older now, so it's gotten better. But I swear to God, it probably took me till 35 to get some hair for whatever reason.
Overall, though, you have a solid.
I'm fine on the cheeks.
Growth.
I'm fine on the cheeks and the chins.
One of the main reasons. One of the main reasons I'm growing this. Block the second chin.
So, but now this is coming in. But I think if you if you rip that down
just a tiny bit
below the mouth a little bit,
yes, not all the way down like a Fu Manchu, but just a little bit, we're gonna get something special. I think.
Tip Swanson.
I think. All right, but you have to do it in stages, right? So
anytime I cut a beard, I always shave in 10 different things.
Yeah. You can't because you can't put it back in.
That's
so
right.
You've got to start. Cut small.
I'll probably go to a goatee.
No, go right down the middle and get some chops first.
Oh,
and
nice.
then you
chops
have the goatee.
It's
got to be a process.
Yeah, okay. Then a goatee. Then probably shave out the middle of the goatee for a Fu Manchu.
Yes. And then
leave the what do you call it? The flavor saver.
Flavor saver. Yeah. Jesus.
And then put the edges down. And then leave it, I think. I think I'm going to leave edges down.
Times out perfectly for the Fu Manchu at the board meeting.
I think you're going to end up...
after the board.
I think you're going to end up more like a lasso. Bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, just down over the edge. Just down over the edge. So I can't wait. I'm excited to maybe show up. Last time I did carve one in, though, my daughters were like, don't do that, please. No. You don't look like Dad.
Just do it.
That actually hurt a little bit.
You don't look like Dad right now anyway, so
I know
you might as well just keep it going.
You're exactly right.
Did you see Juwan Howard this weekend?
I did, yeah.
So if you did not see Juwan Howard, I think we need to get a better job of describing what we're talking about because we just
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a
good call. Good idea.
Because sometimes we just mention thing, we give a comment, and no one knows what the hell we're talking about.
Wisconsin put a beat down on Michigan.
Wisconsin ended up is number 10 to 15 in the country. Let's say they're right around there. Michigan had a great team last year, right? They went pretty far in the tournament. They're not ranked this year. I think they're like 14 and 11 is what I saw. Wisconsin's up, let's say by 10 points, somewhere around there. I think the final score they won by 11. But what happened was Gary or Greg Garb. I'm not sure. It's Gary Garb is the Wisconsin head coach.
Yeah, they're pressing. Or no,
Michigan was pressing.
Michigan was pressing
in the final moments of the game, 3 seconds.
That's
and I learned something new, too. So the Wisconsin head coach calls a timeout because he doesn't want his players have to deal with that press. And you know what happens on the timeout?
Ball goes to the side.
You get a new 10.
Oh, on the backcourt.
Yes,
that's true.
I think the
you're
ball.
probably right.
I think the ball goes to the side in the NBA. I don't think it comes out in college. I think it stays down below the rim.
Okay, but
But you get a new 10.
Okay,
so you don't have to really worry about that press anymore. So you're just going to inbound it, and then the game's over. Well, something happened where Juwan Howard took exception to that timeout.
Yes,
a miscommunication. So he was pressing. There's no chance to win the game. I don't know why he was pressing there.
Usually they call the dogs off.
Wisconsin coach was not happy that he was pressing, so he took the timeout so he can get a new 10 and he doesn't have to worry about the press. In the handshake line after the game, I believe Howard and Garb both exchanged a little bit of words. Garb tried to explain what he was doing. Howard was still upset. Obviously, you just played in a football or a basketball game. Emotions are high.
Yep.
It's okay with that. You know, you can talk it out. You
Energy is
up.
up.
Be angry. Well, then the pushing and shoving started. But it was more with the assistant. I think the head coaches were going at it for a little bit. They both got backed off. Howard came back up and then just threw a haymaker at an assistant coach. It wasn't even at the head coach.
And it wasn't a fist, but it was a hard open hand. Well, by the way,
was it open-handed?
It was open. It was an
open
hand hit. It was an open hand hit. And by the way, somebody like Juwan Howard, like he's got a hand. He's got a big hand.
Yeah, it's huge.
Basketball player, I mean, it's not like it's like my pillow hands coming at him.
But did you see what Howard said after?
Howard
said he felt threatened. Like he had to defend himself. Now, if you want, Phil
came out with another statement though. After.
I hope so.
Last night.
What did he do? Because
apology. That's not the way a Michigan man does it. Like it was a real apology. He put out an apology last night.
All right.
But
let's move on.
Right after in the press conference, though, it was very like, "Hey, you're coming at me. I feel threatened." Like blah blah blah. Like it wasn't a great look in the post game presser.
All right. Well,
now I feel
I'll give
better.
him that. But still, I don't think you stay afterwards. You can look at the tape. You weren't threatened. There was a little bit of a scuffle. He's been in a million of those. It's right after a basketball game. Sure, you're pissed you lost, but you don't.
Remember Fab
You don't
5?
do that.
Fab 5 was unbelievable for Michigan.
Yeah.
Juwan Howard, Chris Webber, that team was nasty.
Do you name them all?
Juwan Howard, Chris Webber. Why am I blanking right now?
I don't know.
Give me another one.
Jalen Rose.
Then there was a good point guard.
Come on.
Who am I missing?
2 more.
Point guard, though.
Jimmy Smith, right? Wasn't Jimmy Smith one?
Yeah, but who was the point guard?
Ray something. Max.
Type in the Fab 5, Max.
Fab 5. Juwan Howard, Chris
Webber,
Jalen Rose, Jimmy Smith. And
we're missing somebody.
Ray what? Ray
Jackson.
Good team. All got paid.
Never won a championship.
Call timeout. Remember Chris Webber calling timeout with a second left.
We need to put that on a T-shirt today.
That would be a good T-shirt. So I did go skiing. We went up to North Conway, rented a house with some people. It was fun. Fell in love with the game of Jeopardy.
Okay.
So we played.
I think it's hard.
So I learned a trick. We didn't do this, but we learned a trick. We played Jeopardy it was on demand, so it was the College of Tournament of Champions.
Which is easier.
I think slightly easier, but it was fun because you could root against people more because they move along, right?
Okay.
And it's in a bracket, and you're like, God, I hate that person from Kennesaw State.
So you went on a skiing trip. How many hours of Jeopardy did you watch?
No, at night, late night. We turned it into kind of like a drinking game.
Okay.
Once the kids went down, and once the kids were playing downstairs in the basement. So we play this Jeopardy thing, and I fell in love with the game. Now, what I learned from a family that was there, they play every night at their house. They pause it on the question.
Okay.
So they pause the question so you have more time to answer, because truly, once you do read the question, I'm a slow reader. Some people are fast reader. They answer it just because they read faster. I actually listen for the audible from the host, and then I answer. If you pause it, you have a much higher success rate, because we actually are smart enough that we put it together, but we can't do it in 3 seconds.
Okay. How does the show work? Do you know how the show works?
The show?
Is the show exactly how it's? Do they edit it at any point?
No,
is what I'm saying.
No. The show is immediate clicker, and then you see the thing go down. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, and they're reading it, and then they have to, but they can't click in early.
They can't click in until the question is over. The clickers don't work until
he stops reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
She now Blossom
Blossom
is the person that does the Tournament of Champions, at least.
No, isn't there two?
But Blossom's doing the tournament we only saw Blossom because she was in the tournament. She was doing all the things.
Gotcha.
I will tell you, there was a couple categories I cranked it. There's a couple categories, a couple actual entire rounds that I didn't get one right. Full on round.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But I'm back in the Jeopardy game.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have something?
No, I was just saying that.
Okay.
I don't have a quiz or anything, but I am going to the next thing. I think the reason that I'm into the Jeopardy thing is because of this Wordle battle that we're in right now.
And for those who don't know Wordle by now, I'm sorry, we can't help you.
We can't. It's just a guessing of a word game. We're in it.
One word,
McKellar.
6 tries.
It's me, you, and McKellar. He's sending over an updated list.
This morning was it was perfect this morning.
It's such a tough game.
This morning, Max.
So we can say it because it's Thursday.
Correct.
So today's word was thorn.
No,
it was?
No, it was front. Wasn't it?
No, it was thorn.
Was it thorn?
Yeah. You might have guessed front.
No, I think I guessed front on the second one. Hold on.
Okay. I think it was thorn.
No, I don't think
Yeah, it was thorn.
Was it? I don't know about that.
Yeah, because I typed in Thorpe as my fourth
It was
guess.
thorn. All right, I did north. I did north on the second one.
Oh, that'll help you.
I did crane.
You keep going with crane?
I've switched it up. I don't do it all the time.
Okay.
That's the first time I've done it in probably 4 days. So I went crane. I got the R and the N.
Okay.
And then I went, because I don't have the A and the E in there, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay,
You work in those,
I just did north randomly and got all of the letters. And then it was like, oh, okay, then it's got to be
That's a tough one. So I've been starting lately with audio.
Yes.
Audio.
You've done some research.
Yeah, so
a lot of vowels in there,
Now,
and then if you don't have that, then you know an E is in there.
People, though, that I've been working with on this, not necessarily working with, but playing the game, they mention
working with.
No, they mention
What's
that.
your strategy, Max?
No,
what do you do for this?
They mention that they like to go heavier on the consonants instead of the vowels.
I can see where they're coming from.
Okay, and I don't know. I'm sticking on the vowel thing, and I'm getting smoked.
Yeah, because if you do get a vowel, there's a lot of shit that can go along
That's the thing.
with
Like,
it. So
I'd rather know that
I get the consonant.
Yeah, I'd rather know that it's like.
So what do they? All right, so your people, the people that you're working with.
Yeah.
What word do they start with to really get things going with the consonants?
I heard snort is a good word to start with.
I'm thinking north is a good word to start with.
I think it might be. Yeah, I mean, snort is a good one. The crane is a decent one. That has two vowels, but
because you try and get the wheel of fortune, right?
Yep.
Is a wheel of fortune with it's like, hey, we give you RSTLNE. Yeah. So you try and get those. Those are the most common. That's why I use that and try and work that into Wordle with my first word.
Plain, I think, is one that people like to use because you get 2 vowels and 3 consonants, but it's P, L, and N. I want to mix in an ST or an M or something.
You know what I've found out about this?
I'm ready.
You don't, like, you would want the S, right? Because there's a 5-letter word, and a lot of words you can put plural. I found that Wordle does not do a lot of plural words. So I'm not sure how much that
Do
S,
some with the R at the end, though. An R at the end is very, very tricky.
Yes.
An R at the end is tough.
Because you can have an A, an E,
a lot of
an O.
There's a lot of things that can work into
Yeah.
that R. So, and McKellar did. He missed entirely. So, do we give him a 7 for that?
I think we give him a 7.
Okay, we give him a 7 for that. So he's got to update the spreadsheet. But you got to be in the lead by easily 10 strokes.
I haven't missed one yet, and I did 3 today.
That's
and
big.
I've been keeping pace.
See,
on the days that I didn't do well, you guys didn't do anything.
We did the same, probably, right?
Yeah.
So you birdied today, and I bogeyed today. That's a 2-shot swing. So, and I should not have bogeyed today, but I guess.
And McKellar birdied as well, but then he didn't gain any strokes. So
yesterday,
I think this thing's almost over.
Yesterday, I guessed otter, and it was other, or whatever, or maybe it was 2 days ago, and it was just like God, some wasting.
I'll tell you what,
guess.
for that 5 minutes though, it's a fun 5 minutes.
It is.
It's just
the brain is cooking.
I mean,
the brain
you might
is
as well
really
just
cooking.
go to your happy place for 5 minutes, wherever you want to be on the phone. No kids.
Yeah,
just it's
bathroom.
work in your mind, big brain, trying to get a bigger brain.
Olympics were uneventful. And pretty much entirely uneventful. I didn't watch much, and I watched now I did have COVID during the Summer Olympics, but I watched beginning of the day to the end of the day this summer.
I think the coverage was a little different too.
Was it?
China.
Is that what you think?
It's got to be China, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, the one thing I turned on was the big air, and it was beside a nuclear power plant. I was like, what are we doing right now?
The one thing that I probably would have wanted to watch was USA women's hockey.
Yeah, that game was late.
But it wasn't until
it
was impossible to find. I thought it was just at like 11:15.
It was at 11:15.
Yeah,
I watched 10
That's what
minutes.
it was late.
All I could find was curling all the time. I might start curling.
Well,
Oh, Max,
2026.
Max, you
got
got
to get a lot bigger. You got to get a lot.
No,
you gotta get
he doesn't need to get bigger.
It's all about technique.
gotta
Who
work
are you
his
working
core.
with?
Yeah, you got to get
core.
fatter. I mean, you see that guy laying down his belly was on the ground. That's well, yeah, you did because you said it looked like me. So I appreciate that.
Curling and cornhole. That's what we're going for.
Exactly. The other thing that we did up there last point before we hit the interview, music trivia. So what we did a lot of was play a song on Spotify, hit next off the radio, play a little trivia with that. Also, we made a great playlist. I learned a lot of new bands like Boz Skaggs.
I've heard them. I don't know. If you played the song, I'd probably be like, I've heard that. I wouldn't know it was Boss.
We got into some fused jazz type stuff too, like a lot going on with that. So I made a great.
Were you
drinking martinis and
I did. I brought up
little
stuff to
finger
do that.
up, the pinky up at the end.
Yeah. So we made a list. We made a playlist, and maybe we'll put that out on the Instagram or something like that, Max. So I made a nice playlist. So that's what I got. I mean, we can jump into the interview now for the Get Grinds guys, the Grinds guys.
Yeah. Let's talk to Matt and Pat.
All right. So we're gonna call it the Matt and Pat Show. I think that's what we got to do, right, Max?
It wouldn't be the first time. That's what they call it around here.
Damn right they do.
Got it. Okay. So on this show, we said, what episode are we gonna do this one? We don't know. I'm not gonna say the episode because we're not sure. We've got Matt and Pat on the show, Matt and Pat Show. The reason these guys are on, okay, though, is not necessarily, we're not talking about sports betting as much on this one like a McKellar. We're not going down the Super Bowl champion path like Brewski. These guys have a product, though, that I think is just as important in like the Major League Baseball space or baseball space.
Oh, screw
but
that.
also
It's every space.
Every space, really, with grinds. And they're wearing their shirts right now. And you might see this if you ever see me walking around, right? I usually have one of these in my back pocket. And people probably think, oh, like typical baseball player tip, like, definitely like Copenhagen or Kodiak or something. It's grinds. And it has been since I played. I was not, guys, a big tobacco user playing at all. Like, I didn't really dip. I didn't really chew at all either, like even like the Red Man and stuff.
So you never did it?
Oh, I did, but not. I never took it to the level of like needing it, and being addicted to it at all. It was like, randomly I'd throw it in. What's that?
Did you ever buy a can?
Yes. We'll say yes, I did. Now, usually I was buying them for other people, but yes, I mean, so and if you're ever like in the actual dugout, right? then
I don't think
once in a
I don't
while-
think you have a problem finding a can in the dugout, do you?
No, but and these guys will hit this, I'm sure. Minor league baseball, when I was there, and I don't know if it's still the same, fellas. You would get fined. They had the tobacco police, we call them. So like if they took a picture into the dugout and you had like a tin, you were packing a lip or whatever, it's like they would ding you, and then they would ding the manager too, and you had to pay that fine too.
That's not fun.
So that's how it worked.
And you're making big money in the minor leagues too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Huge money.
$1,000 hurts.
Huge money.
And it's not just baseball. I mean, I did it for years, which is a problem. And you know, and then by the time, and then you get introduced to it at a young age. I was doing it in high school.
Were you in high school? That's what I was.
Oh yeah. In high school, you know, as buddies, one guy got a can of Skull Cherry, guys, and I put it in, and it was just like, this is disgusting. I don't like this. Didn't do it. Then he came back another time with like Skull Mint. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And you're too immature to realize what's going to happen. You're always going to think, hey, I'm not going to be the guy when I'm 25 years old buying a can or going through a can every day. But you do turn into that guy.
Yeah, which is
now
wild,
there's
right?
specific triggers that I get into if I'm in that space where it's like, ooh, I wish I had a dip in right now. And I got to tell you, this helps me because when you're in meetings, for me in football, it was like, that was my coffee. And I think a lot of these athletes are finding, that's their problem.
Is that why this was developed, fellas? For that exact reason and for my exact reason?
Tell us the story, how it came about.
Yes.
That specifically was what we're thinking film study. No, the story was rooted in baseball, right? Like we played college ball together. Matt had a couple years minor league for the Cubbies, and we actually weren't dippers either, but surrounded by, dipped a handful of times, maybe a couple beers, not far behind, but we're surrounded by it. We knew playing that everybody and their mother was chewing. Most guys will even tell you, I need to quit. I need to quit. I need to quit. They don't do it. And then we also knew, Matt's time in the minor leagues and our buddies like VO, who you had on, and other guys that we knew that were playing in the minors and the big leagues. It was evident MLB was cracking down. So we said, what else could you throw in your mouths? And then honestly, the true story is like two idiots were late on a college project. Matt had just gotten released from the Cubs. That is, thanks for highlighting that. That is,
There's an important point.
Everybody on this call has been released.
Hey,
Dan was released.
we've all
I was
been
released.
fired.
Yeah, we've all been fired.
But to Pat's point, though, that is actually how we decided to come up with it, was just working on a project late at night, and it was really hot out. Being baseball players, knew how to dip, obviously arms distance dippers, if you will. But we wanted something to get us going, and so instead of brewing hot coffee at the time, we essentially just said, why don't we just use this? Why don't we use coffee like we use dip? And then we completely stopped working on that marketing project and then started thinking and talking about grinds. And really, like a week or two later, see a business plan competition, enter it, end up winning.
I mean, really, no joke. Threw coffee in our mouths, two idiots, and said, sorry, can we swear on here?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you want.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right. So we go, shit, like, I got a caffeine buzz. Like, this is getting me going. What would you call it? Came up with a name right then. Didn't think anything of it. Grinds.
Right.
We're walking on campus out in California, San Luis Obispo, where Jimmy Vio went as well. Saw a flyer, and it's a completely true story. Have an idea, free pizza. Walked in, signed our names up, put the thing on there, ate some pizza. The guy running the business plan thing sitting in the back going, what are you guys doing? And there's all these tech companies and engineering companies that get this coffee idea. We're throwing it in there, help people quit chewing tobacco. We're going to take it to spring training. And he basically goes like, well, sure, that could work. And it was so simple, the idea. Again, it's coffee and caffeine in a pouch. It's not rocket science. It can help you. And when you compare it and size it up to tobacco and nicotine, 10 out of 10. Guys, dentists, doctors go, yeah, that's better than the other stuff. So that's how it was born.
Yeah, that's an incredible story, guys. That's why I wanted to have you on. Like, I love stories like this of, like you said, you probably had a couple beers, you saw a flyer that said marketing thing. Like, it wasn't like you took tons of time on this and like, and had all these computer programs and all this stuff going on. It was just like, hey,
we've got an idea.
I want to have coffee right now, but I want to throw it on my lip and have it be like kind of like a oral fixation thing instead of like, and help me stay up and give me some energy. And now we've got how many ever flavors? It's crazy.
Yeah, like we're going to do right now. Because I can't be sipping my coffee. In fact,
that's right.
Usually behind it.
But to your point, Tip, that is why the judges in this business planning competition that we won, that's why we won the competition. They said, look, they can actually make this happen, right? It's not some crazy, tech dream. It's tangible, real things, helping people. And all right, you guys take the money. It wasn't a ton. It was like, what, 15 grand?
It was 15 grand.
But you can use it and go down to Major League and Minor League Baseball and start handing the product out. So,
yeah. And literally, we found ourselves kind of 2 years later going on Shark Tank. It was like,
right,
how did we get here? It's like, because it's a simple idea. You mix it in the baseball, and it was kind of a no-brainer.
So did they reach out to you, or how did the Shark Tank audition process? How'd you get on there?
Right. So this is a funny story, actually. We didn't. I don't know if we've told some people this, but it was, what was it, 2012 or so, 2011. Business had kind of hit a point where we're like, okay, we're not really sure. Let's think outside the box and come up with some ideas how to help this thing grow. So we end up hearing about Shark Tank, and we said, well, that's a cool idea. Maybe we can try and pitch them and get on the show. So literally, we started looking at their casting call, and they have casting calls that go on every year. I think
LA, Atlanta,
come to LA, come to New York, kind of like American Idol.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch us your product, blah 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 blah. So we were all set to go down a week before, like in 1 week, when the casting call happened. And out of the blue, we got a phone call from a producer. And so what do? We kind of played it a little bit cool. They're like, hey, have you heard of Shark Tank? This is this company. And they're like, I think so. I'm not sure if is that? Oh, yeah. That's the TV show. And anyhow, she goes, well, listen, we'd love for you guys to pitch. Send us a video, pitch us. And we go, I saw online there's this casting call thing, should we go to that? And she's like, oh no, don't worry about that. That's for everybody else.
That's the show.
You guys have been studying for the casting call for like 3 weeks. You have like notebooks on it. You know everybody's name. Yeah.
The break of the company was like, okay, this casting call is really going to be it.
Yeah. And by the way, we already have our pitch ready to go.
Yeah.
She says, film another pitch for us. And we've been doing this since the college days. We were dialed in with our pitch. I mean, we can recite it right now. We've done it around the office. It's been 12 years now. It's just etched in our brains. So we had it ready, but we were working from home in an apartment in San Francisco, painting apartments. The inventory's in my bedroom, in the living room. It was not pretty. And it was actually my grandmother's apartment, pink carpets, this gross green chair. So we just stacked the inventory up and did our pitch, and they're like, what was with all the cardboard? And we're like, oh, that's the product. And they said, well,
that's our warehouse.
They were actually in a bind. Yes. They were in a bind and said, well, look, normally we schedule you 6 months out. They film for 2 weeks straight in the summer.
Yeah.
And then there's like a fall thing. I don't know how it works now. They said, we'll take you if you can come down here in like 2 weeks. So we just said, let it rip, and went down there. And it's a wild ride too. There's some good stories there. Similar to probably like the feelings before a big game. You're in an airplane hangar of a studio.
Yeah.
It's pitch black, except for this one corner where they're filming, and they keep you in like an enclosed, like a sensory deprivation room. You're just like, they're like.
So there's no contact with any of the sharks in the beginning. Like you have they have no idea who you are, what you're going to pitch to them.
Zero.
Okay.
They know your name first, Matt and Pat show, and the name of your company. Yeah. And truly, like, they keep you in isolation. We're in a Ramada Inn near the Culver City Freeway for a week. You get a call at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., I think. Yeah. Hey, you're going in tomorrow morning, or you're going in tonight? We were the last ones to go. So we're just walking around this mall doing our pitch, and finally they say you're up. And we haven't actually told the story in quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that, it's pretty incredible, from the standpoint of when they whisk you away, right? You're not supposed to talk to anybody. You can't even tell your friends, family, anything. So to your guys' point with the reality part of the TV show, you really don't know any of the judges. They never heard of you. And it's just like, it is go time as soon as they say hit it. And you're basically just there pitching. And of course they edit it down to get it, 5, 10,
whatever you see on TV. Yeah.
But we're out there for like an hour and a half or so, because
oh really? So it's that much. There's that much going on. Okay.
All right. Well, there was a lady who went on before us. It was like 5 minutes. This ain't working. See ya.
Yeah.
But we were out there. We were drained by the end. Like I remember, he stayed down there, saw us folks. I flew on. We were wiped, but I've never played in a Super Bowl, obviously, but the feeling.
It's a long day. It's a long day.
The feeling though of going out there, it's the opposite. It was the opposite of any sporting event that, like we've had big games for, nothing like what you guys had, but you walk out in this airplane hangar of a studio and you have to sit on this spot while they get the cameras and the lighting ready. And they tell you, do not say a word, do not smile, look straight ahead, because we have to get that all in. And then it's basically a 3-walled giant room that you see on TV. And one side of the room is just a black void. Someone yells, go, out of that room, like 30, 60 seconds in. I mean, I'm even talking about it. I haven't thought about it in a while. Your heart is pounding out of your freaking chest.
Yeah.
I even said he knew his cue word. I started the pitch and I said, yada, 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 Chicago Cubs. And he's like, you blacked out. You're like, I didn't hear anything you said.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. It is intense. And so much so, I think after, to Pat's point, like you get done with the show, right? Or the segment, if you will, they bring you back and they actually have a psychologist come and talk with you.
That's right.
And the psychologist goes, it's the opposite of being depressed. It's like you're super euphoric, right?
Depending on how it went.
Right. Yeah, of course. But they ask you like, hey, do you understand the deal that you made? Right, they want to make sure you're of like sound mind.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right. Really, very.
You get a few minutes to back out of it because you weren't in like the right mental place.
This is legally binding, right?
After this communication with me, who I said I was a psychologist, but really I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, you were not coerced. You knew you were of sane mind, sane mind and body and mind.
Yes. So I will say it's probably a difference for you guys. It sounds like you were at like an inflection point of the company where it was like, are we going to keep doing this or not? Like, I'm sure there's people that go on Shark Tank that are like more for the exposure. They may not need a cash position, right? But like, they're probably still nervous, like talking to, big celebrities like that. But you guys, it sounds like this was it, right? And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but like, was that kind of like we want the exposure, we want the influx of cash, we need it to decide if this is what we're going to continue with? Is that where the real emotion was coming from?
Yeah, I'd say, it wasn't the end all be all, but we had gotten to this point where, and
I was tired of sanding and painting.
I mean, we're painting apartments, working baseball.
Got it. Yeah, you're doing both. I get it. Yep.
We're walking orders down to the post office. It was a full-time gig, but kind of wasn't. And also the product itself had just reached like a ceiling, right? And like we needed to tweak it. We didn't kind of know how, to the point where we were even nervous about the cans they were going to open on the set. Because we had this problem, and minor league guys would tell us this all the time. Guys, the product idea, everyone's on board with. And by the way, when we try it, like half the product sucks. The pouches open up, it bursts in your mouth. Mm-hmm. So it was like Russian roulette. When we were having them sample the cans, we were like, man, I hope these things don't blow up in their mouths. And this is part where it's just dumb luck.
Yeah.
I forget who it was. Someone got a can. I was like, well, this is strong.
Cuban.
Yeah. Cuban probably had like 400 milligrams of caffeine, but we got a good batch. And so we were kind of like, if not now, when would it take off? And if it didn't go well, I don't know where we end up going because, we were making a little money, but it was barely paying the bills. It definitely decided that, we're going to go, balls to the wall on this thing and really see where it can go.
Where were you selling mostly beforehand and how?
I think it was 99% online. Like maybe
you were online.
Yeah,
and like 100 stores.
Yeah,
100 stores. So
you were going down to those the training camps and really going hard at those guys.
Yeah, that was honestly we knew. To football, baseball, any of these sports, right? You're talking about kind of a fraternity, right? Even Squad Locker, right? It's like you guys get it. So we bring the products down to them to say, hey, get feedback at first. Hey, what do you think of this? Would you use it? How would you improve it? What flavors, etc. And so the only thing we really knew was our product in baseball. So we just kept like going to that well and just continually going to spring training. And I think that actually also helped us. We got a little quick write-up in ESPN the magazine, our first kind of break, if you will. Bruce Bochy was using the product, whom we had no idea he was actually using it. And then he called us like 2 days after they won the World Series, just got a phone with President Obama, and then calls us and says, hey, first of all, we didn't pick up because I don't know that number. Note to self, always pick up the phone. Yeah. Particularly in sales. The second thing, though, but the thing I was going to say is he called us and said, hey, I think this thing might be saving my life. So, just wanted to say thank you guys very much for it.
What year was that? What year was that, guys? Do you know? When Bochy?
That was 2000, and it was after 2010 season.
Yeah. 2011. So that got us to say, we should give this a shot, which then, you're like swinging from vine to vine. That was one vine that kind of swung us to say, can we keep it going, and got us to Shark Tank. And then that was more like just getting shot out of a cannon.
That's how I found out about it. It was I remember the Bruce Bochy thing. I wrote that down actually. It was like that was one of the names. It wasn't because he was like supporting, but I just think that you guys caught more, media that way, right? And all of a sudden, I remember like either jumping on Instagram or something. And what I was going to say is your initial distribution model, like all online. If you look at my account, I bet I'm actually not a very big online buyer. I buy probably once or twice a year. The great part, though, I buy a chunk at a time, but there's a convenience store in Rhode Island where we're at that has had it, and I buy them out all the time. And like,
love it.
So I don't know which way works better for you guys. Now, the reason I was doing that was because the guy had a deal going too, and this is probably not allowed for your MAP pricing structure, I'm sure, but it was like buy 3 cans, get 1 free, like in the store. Right, so I was saving some money, and I was just scooping all the inventory. So if you look at my account, you're probably like, Tim says he's been doing this for 10 years. He's only bought like 100 cans, like 200 cans. I've bought 1,000 at that convenience store. So that's
we gotta call that guy too and tell him thanks for the shout out too. Today though, it's almost split 50-50. 10,000 convenience stores and our website and online. Because these convenience stores, that's where you go buy your dip, your chew, your nicotine pouches, right?
Yep. What about, you do the deal with Robert and Damon, right?
Yeah.
And the Mr. Wonderful, I watched the episode. Yeah. Mr. Wonderful offered you just a royalty deal,
right? Oh, that's his favorite. That's his royalty deal.
Every can is a quarter to him, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you end up going with Damon because you wanted help with the distribution channels and opening it up, which I get. How, like... What
would it maybe? What would have been better?
How involved are they?
Well, there's actually a bunch of stories here too. So, and I believe we're outside statute of limitations on everything we signed our life away. Yep. If not, we'll follow up.
Matt's thinking about it right now.
Really, we work with them for probably 6 to 8 months. You film, and you're waiting for it to go to air. A third of them don't even go to air. And we saw people making deals before us. That's. For me, that's tough to think about. Like you get it all done, it just doesn't end up. They didn't edit it right, or writing was wrong. We worked with them for 6 to 8 months. We didn't end up actually signing a deal with them for a number of reasons. The short version would be Damon, basically wanted to scale this thing to the moon as fast as possible. Just rocket fuel, bringing in distributors. We didn't align with one of the distributors specifically for a couple reasons that I'll omit from this conversation, but. We ended up meeting at Walgreens and talking about some of the plans that would come to fruition. And then by the time it went to air, we hadn't signed a deal. And it was like, man, missed the window. We parted ways as amicably as you can, right? And he was like, all right, you guys probably need a few more bumps and bruises, but, best of luck to you. But, and to Dan, to answer your question more pointedly, I think they're involved. I mean, we got on the phone with them a couple times, right? So it's not as if like you shake hands on the show and then I'll see you later. Yeah.
Okay. You still work. You got to work it out afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you're on the show, as we said earlier, they don't know you. We can go on there and be like, yeah, we're doing 100 million in sales, and it's like they kind of believe you because that's what you're telling them. So they do their due diligence. But we did work with them. We talked to them a bunch. They obviously have tons of different deals they're doing, right? You're talking about all these to your point, celebrities that have interest in multiple businesses. So yes, the time was somewhat finite, like a half hour or so, but we interacted with both him and Robert.
And then mostly resources and teams of people that you talk with, but for sure that's the machine.
But mostly his kind of right hand guys and gals is who we would be working through some of these deals with.
Right. So they, even though you didn't end up, signing the contract with them, they were helpful along your way and pointing you in the right direction. So, are they good guys?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say no question.
Yeah, and Mr. Wonderful is actually super nice, which was very surprising.
I've noticed that on his Instagram. His Instagram is like the softest thing ever, and he comes off as he's like riding a bike like one of those handlebar bikes with like flowers in the front. You feel like he's probably never has been unless he's in the back of like a stretch limo. He's that type of guy, right? He's not.
No. I mean, he put in that royalty deal because that is kind of his shtick, and we kind of knew that, right? So. Part of the other thing about going through that show is that we did so much due diligence, basically ripped our company apart, right? We talked with our original investors and people that we had known, like friends and family, and be like, give me the worst thing you can think about our company, and let's figure out how we work through that. Just break it down. So we knew the royalty thing was coming. We knew we didn't want it. But afterwards, Mr. Wonderful was like, hey, if this thing, doesn't work out or whatever, you guys need help, just give me a ring. Yeah. And in my head, I was
nice. Yeah.
We also got advice from people that went on in season 1 when it was barely even a show. They were like, if you're serious about going on and open to a deal, end with a yes, end with a handshake. You just want the positive energy at the end. Both because only a quarter of them, I don't know the numbers now, even end with a deal. So if you get one, you're more likely to go to air. Right. And then also too, you'd rather be telling a positive story to everybody and their mother and their grandmother after than why it didn't work out. And we were genuine with it. It just, we probably couldn't keep up at the pace game we wanted to take it.
Got it. What was the first flavor you guys came out with?
Mocha.
Mint chocolate, I think.
Mint chocolate was early in the game?
Yeah, but it also disappeared. Because it was, remember I said half the product sucked?
Yeah. So when you said half the product sucked, I don't have a problem with them breaking really ever. I mean, and I've been doing this for a long time, right? I mean, thousands of cans, truly.
That's what you said. That's the number.
Truly.
1,000 can club.
Yeah, 1,000 can club. I haven't even got a T-shirt yet out of that, so I'm going to work on it.
Hey, we're running things here.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt after 100 rides on Peloton, so let's go, 1,000 can club. Okay. So my other part though on this is, if they're dry ever, sometimes they get dry over time. Sometimes they don't. Here's the key though. If they are, number one thing I do, little sprinkle of whiskey in there.
Oh, whiskey!
Mark McGuire does. What did he do? He did Kahlua with the cinnamon roll.
Dude, all you need is a touch. All you need is a touch. And literally a couple of drops of it in the can, and then you just shake it up, and it never is dry ever again. I do that all the time.
Back when McGuire was actually coaching for the Dodgers, we had a chance to meet him, and he's throwing BP, the Dodgers, and we just said hello. He's like, dude, love grinds. Takes off his pullover, grinds, dry fit up.
Yep.
And I know we're going to eat from here, right? I'm actually realizing now. We gave it to Big Mac, but he said he was using 2 cans a game, and he told Matt, he's like, yeah, man, post game, I just throw a little Kahlua in there, and
nice.
Shout out to Mark if he somehow ends up sticking to that shit.
Chip, just as a note, we are working on we're developing more and more flavors because we started bringing production in house. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but there is going to be a whiskey-esque flavor coming out probably later this year. We'll send you
breaking news.
Breaking news. Can we break that news?
We're breaking that.
So I'm going to guess is like a bourbon. We're going to call it like a bourbon barrel grinds or something like that. So if you need naming, if you guys need some naming help, we can help you with that. With guessing between Dan and I, right? What do you think our favorite flavors are? We'll go with Dan first.
Interesting. Did you use it to quit or just?
No, I wish it was out when I was trying to quit. I mean, I quit years ago, so you guys were not out yet. I wish.
You quit probably right when you were done playing.
It's a great idea. It's an alternative way, and the oral fixation because a lot of the stuff that was out there, I forget the one thing I tried to use that was an alternative. It just wasn't right. It just didn't
tea ones or something.
It might have been tea leaves, but it was like a mountain thing or something like
Smoky Mountain.
What was it?
Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, I think it was Smoky Mountain.
They've been around for a while.
Yeah, so I tried that, and it just like it wasn't the same thing. It wasn't the flavors that I was looking for. So I think it would have been a lot easier for me to quit if I had this.
Yeah, because now
this
you
product.
use it in traditional dipping settings. I would say that about you. Like we're playing golf. We've got we're kicking around the office. You're going to a meeting. Like any of those traditional dipping, settings. Like I can see him going for.
Yeah, just can't do it at night though because it's going to keep me up.
No, I don't know if that's true.
We're working on it. We got something coming out there too.
Oh, there you go.
See, I do them at night. I put them in. Oh, here.
I don't know what you're into, but we're working on a little something behind the scenes.
Okay.
All right.
Guess what, guys? I will tell you another way the product doesn't work, and this is a compliment. I do it so much, like I fall asleep with them sometimes at night. I wake up in the morning with a grind still. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Like,
Can't recommend it.
No, I'll like bury them in the back, and then I'll wake up in the morning and be like, oh, geez, like. Why does my mouth taste like a cinnamon roll still or like whatever, But
you know what, though? That's not really out of that place because the unfortunate thing for guys that dip for a long time, that happens.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're single, no kids, you wake up with a dip in your mouth a lot.
Yep.
Or brush your teeth and then throw a dip in. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
I literally did that last night.
That makes sense. It's just like you think back, it's like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, that's wrong. It's like the wrong thing to do.
It's like, here, just brush your teeth and throw that crap in.
So, did we guess my flavor? Did we guess Dan's flavor?
We didn't guess flavors
We didn't
yet.
guess the flavor yet. What are we guessing for Dan?
Dan.
I would have guessed we're getting right to the punchline. Double shot espresso, double mocha.
I would say
Boom! Double shot
That's the one you like.
espresso.
That's the one that you like. That's hilarious.
Yep, double shot espresso.
But did
got a little
you
sound
like?
effect there?
Yeah, you got the ding. We got
Yeah,
give him the
we got
bing
the
bong.
ding.
Give him the bing bong.
Oh, we don't have that anymore.
We don't have bing bong anymore.
No, that's sometimes we mumble.
Do we have his Sometimes We Mumble?
I think I just got the
Oops.
What is that? Sometimes we mumble.
So you also did you like the wintergreen?
I didn't mind the wintergreen, but
Did you dip wintergreen
But
though?
no, well, I did Kodiak forever. So the problem with that, it's hard to replace the Kodiak
Wintergreen taste. Got it.
So
got it, got it.
you just get so used to that taste. Wintergreen for me, but the double mocha and the double espresso are awesome. And actually, I just had the orange citrus today.
Orange citrus.
That was going to be my call.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it something unique, and I don't know why, but I'm going to say cinnamon roll.
I would eat a can of cinnamon roll. It has to be your best flavor.
He looks like a cinnamon roll right now.
That has to be your best flavor, right? Am I right?
So just flavor.
Backstory in this, just to be very clear.
Also, does it have calories in it?
The whole thing was inspired by Cinnabon because that was our third flavor.
Yeah.
And at the time, we were sitting there and we said, well, maybe we should go wintergreen, very popular. And I go, no. We need cinnamon roll. I love Cinnabon.
The smell.
I need an ode to something.
Yeah, let's just go off topic. How good is Cinnabon?
Oh my God, Cinnabon!
How good is that? If you're walking through an airport, how good is that?
Do you like
that place?
Cinnabon or Auntie Anne's with the cinnamon thing?
Cinnabon blows Auntie Anne's away.
Oh no, Cinnabon blows Auntie Anne's away. I like either one. You said walking through an airport.
Is it Auntie or
I don't
Auntie?
go by either of those.
Is it Auntie or Auntie?
Auntie.
It's Auntie.
Auntie Anne's. Oh no, it's Auntie. I say Auntie.
Also, the original. Would you like to add guacamole on Chipotle? Started with Cinnabon with the extra icing, and yes, that was the thing. Always add the extra icing.
Yes, it's worth it. Please, please, I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it.
The cinnamon roll, to me, I mean, that's where when they get those in at that East. It's not East Side Market. It's East something Market on the east side of Providence.
It's up by Iwana.
Shout out East Side Market.
East Side the second I walk into that place, and I tell the guy all the time, I'm like, when you getting cinnamon roll in? And he's like, I only bring it in and you come in and buy it. So I just go scoop them out. So that's my number one by far. That's what I'll always have. But there's not one that I don't like. The only one that I think is strong is the mint chocolate one, where I'm like, I can feel that one in my mouth more, I guess you can say. You know what I mean? Where the rest of them are like, like I'm an expert at this. You know what one I love too?
Can we make sure we clip that?
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
sound
yeah,
bite.
that'd be
That'd be
great.
sound bite.
Yeah.
Can we make sure we have that?
Yeah, Max is writing it down right now behind the ones and twos. Pumpkin spice. I like the pumpkin spice. That's a good
You
one.
would be a pumpkin guy.
It just tastes good.
You're a
We need more
pumpkin guy.
unity in our country, but pumpkin spice furthers the divide.
I figured that much. Also,
People
okay.
get on the interview and go, you got to throw that pumpkin spice just right down the toilet. And other guys go on
Really?
and say, all I buy, if you get rid of it, I'm leaving.
No
So-
kidding. You
Yeah,
know what?
it's
You know what?
very
There's
it's
probably
the same thing with like Dunkin' Donuts when they bring out all that pumpkin spice in the,
I know,
the
just
fall.
maybe
People-
it's a
some
fall
people
thing.
get pissed.
Maybe it's a fall thing I like. Out of all the flavors, how many do you have right now? How many flavors do you guys have? Do we know?
I think it's like 13 or 14.
Okay.
But,
All right.
So Matt was starting to allude to it. We moved the whole company from 10 years in San Francisco and Oakland, California to Indiana. So total shift to start making the products ourselves. So we got these two giant machines, yada, yada. We used to release like one product a year. Yeah. And now we have like 6, I think, behind the scenes going on that I've got a table over here with like probably 12 that we're working on, but just really sweet.
So you started with you two. How many employees do you have now?
Today, 30. Yeah, around 30.
Today's 30. Tomorrow's something different.
Yeah, tomorrow. You could be at 20 or 40. Who knows? Like, do you guys have layoffs this week?
Pat, he's like checking, like counting out in the workspace.
Yeah, the
how
Pat
many
and
you
Matt
got?
show. Yeah. One of you guys is going to be gone next week. So I have another question, though. 2X. Because how long have you been doing the 2-time caffeine?
Just because of the production being brought in-house, we're able to actually add in a bit more caffeine to it. So that's been, what, a year and a half?
Yeah, probably within the last year, but that is the first thing everybody said. You might have mentioned in the beginning. The original pouches are 25 milligrams. 4 of those is like a cup of coffee. That's not waking up most people at all. So everybody just used to say in all the feedback, you need to up the caffeine. And we tried to figure out what to call it. We just called it double and put the 2X.
Yeah.
And people like do these tests were like, cool, definitely doing 2X.
So my thing with the doubles and all of them, and I throw 2 in. I do 2 doubles. That's my morning. I do double
Double.
like the Oreos. Double stuff.
God.
So like before a sales meeting today, have a big sales meeting on Tuesdays, jumped in, boom, 2 doubles, go in the back corner of the mouth, and like it feels like my cup of coffee. Right? And then if I mix a coffee in with it, now I'm buzzing. Now I get a little buzz going.
You're just buzzing all the
That's
time.
why we're working on some of this nighttime sleep pouch stuff, because we had guys who used to talk about minor league ball. Tip, you might know some stories, who were using grinds just for the caffeine, and they'd be in the bullpen, right? Getting dry humped, not coming in. Apologies for anyone who's not familiar with the lingo.
Do you know that term? Hold on. Do you know that term?
No, I don't. What is that?
So when you're a bullpen pitcher, this is great. I love explaining this to Dan. So that was perfect. When you get dry humped, it's like you're a reliever in the bullpen, and they're like, okay, they call down, bring, Fairchild, get up. You get loose, and then you don't go in. So you literally like get. You ramp your energy like to the max. Like I usually, if I was in the bullpen, I was only in the bullpen for like half of a season. I always had a Red Bull out there. I would like slam a Red Bull, smash it, and like get on the mound and be like, like get like all fired up, and then get ready to pitch. And then they're like,
sit down.
Send Blazik in. It's like what the your energy
So
is
you
like
got dry humped or blue balled?
You call it dry humped.
Okay,
that's what you call it.
Sense.
Okay,
I like it.
continue.
All right,
continue.
So a lot of guys would use it like, man, I went through half a can and I didn't go into the game. It's 3 a.m. I'm on a bus just flying.
Yeah.
And so we're working on something that might be able to help with,
a little melatonin,
sleep relaxation.
a little melatonin pouch, a little melatonin pouch.
I can't.
Maybe you can't just. Okay, all right.
It was on my desk, but we're working on it.
You're gonna give it. You're gonna give it to the kids.
I give a 1 milligram gummy to the kids at night if I really want them to go down. My daughter can't even walk up the stairs. Like if I give her one downstairs, she's like asleep halfway up the stairs. I'm like, these things work amazing. So yeah, okay, good. I like the sound of that. Do we cover? So we covered the flavors. We covered the 2X. Yeah, let it rip.
So out of nowhere, and we supply actually probably, I don't know, half the NFL teams with a bunch of product, and then guys order some cool names, Kittle, and there's actually some great guys using it. The Pats ordered, no joke, out of nowhere, probably 2 years ago, like 500 cans.
Yeah.
Do you know who's using it around there? I talked to one of the trainers and stuff. But
I don't know if it was a trainer. I mean, it definitely. I mean, I don't want to say I caused that order with how many cans I chewed in there.
I was going to say,
could have been 12.
I want to say the nutritionist, the guy who runs that, and he's got a different way of thinking about things, military background, and I think he's going more for the energy, punch that your guys, product offers.
the controlled dose.
His name's Ted. I forget his last name. It's Ted.
Yeah.
Right? And I guarantee it's like, hey, it's kind of like, smelling salts, right? Before every time I went on the field, every possession, we'd all be doing smelling salts. So I think this is just
Really? Every possession?
every possession.
Yeah. See, I do
Every
it
time you walk on the field, you're smelling salts beforehand just to wake you up. So I bet you that's another alternative he's looking at.
Yeah. I pop one before I tee off first hole. Big golf match.
Smelling salts are the best.
I was just like, here we go. Let's go. Yeah.
I need it for like the
Fire it up.
12th hole. That's where I'm losing it.
No,
Yeah.
right
We'll
off
do
the gun.
both. I mean, yeah, you can go up and down. You get just that's it.
And
I should
will-
put that in my golf bag.
No, it's absolutely. You buy the 100 packs.
I've never bought them. I just
I got them.
Yeah,
I got them in my golf bag right now. So you get the 100 pack of the thing. You throw them in a little pouch, and then you have got your couple grind things. I will humble brag. I will contribute. Contribute? Is that what I'm trying to say?
I don't know. We don't talk very well.
My 2018 club championship, partial because of grinds.
Oh.
I would go through about a half a can every round.
Is there
Attribute.
Is there a number that's too much?
Attribute is the right word.
Attribute.
Not contribute. Thank you. That's why we got Max here.
We got someone smart. Is there a number that you should not go over?
Ooh.
So we can go technical. And by the
Yes.
way, you got the Matt Pat show. I got Jonathan, Jeff. We have like food scientists, quality assurance people who run this. 1,200 milligrams of caffeine. Try not to go above that.
Oh, so we gotta get a whole case of cinnamon rolls. All right, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're in good shape.
One can won't go over that amount.
Okay.
So if you have a whole can, we know, and that's why it's a certain amount. You're not going to go over that 1,200 a limit. And honestly, people have different tolerances. Like I've got 4 pouches and 2 cups of coffee.
What's the coach for the Lions? Do you guys hear his
Campbell? Dan Campbell?
Do you hear his order in the mornings?
Oh, no. Is there a Starbucks order? It's like 2 quad ventis or whatever.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's like 1,400 right
Yes.
there, and the guy pounding it in the
Wow,
morning.
that's too much.
And then he goes into a press conference and says he wants his players to bite the legs off of his opponents or something like that. It's just like, yep, all right, that makes sense.
Now makes sense.
Hey,
Yeah.
what I will do is we do have some whiskey in the office. We got to go. I'll go. I haven't even done that here yet because by the way, it's a good thing we've had mostly kind of moist cans.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem.
But don't clip that one, Max. Moist cans. Yeah. So I'm trying to think what else. I had something else that I forgot.
What did you guys major in college?
Finance?
Finance? Okay.
No, really, finance.
So did any of that? Did any of that help you with this, or did you forget most of it?
The one thing I will say about Cal Poly that I think helped the most, the whole motto of the school is learn by doing. Mm-hmm. So their big shtick is like, if you're gonna have a senior project or whatever you call those, like they want you to actually give it a shot. So, like writing a business plan was part of it. So that helped. Yeah. But like arbitrage opportunities in finance, nah.
But and also too, we're joking around, but like not to be dorks, but we did well in our classes, and just knowing your numbers, Shark Tank to today, to buying machines, to how many milligrams are in a pouch. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to do some decent math and monitor a P&L. And I don't want to go full finance dork, but if you can't do those things and manage your cash flow, you're not going to stick around for very long. So
very true.
Stuck around. But we have people much smarter than us now.
Right.
Ensuring that the accounting and the books are working. So
do we have, this is what I was going to say. I'm looking at the ingredients, right? Which I'm surprised you have to put on here. Like, I did notice that you guys do the nicotine-free, tobacco-free thing. Has that always been on the cans, or is that a new thing?
No, not always. I mean,
I didn't think so.
A couple years.
Not on the top. not on the top. It used to be on the side or the bottom.
Got it. So with
we also used to have the MLB logo on our packaging. Got a nice cease and desist from them.
Yeah. I say that every time we have business people on and we're covering business on top of this. If you didn't get a C&D, did you even try?
Yeah.
That's
MLB and Andy's Mints. We used to say, taste like an Andy's Mint. We got a letter one day. Please remove all likeness.
Oh, man. That hurts.
It stung a little bit.
Better to ask for forgiveness, right?
That's correct.
With your artificial flavoring aspect of it, are we looking at calories on this or not? No?
So,
Didn't even answer.
Just say no.
Nutritional info? Barely. Like 3 calories or less per pouch, which is actually why you have to have those ingredients on there.
Got it. Okay, so that's good. That makes me feel good.
Is it like 3 calories just because you're producing spit and then swallowing it, right?
I'm burning more calories than that by swallowing.
By using it. It's your mouth activity.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. I wanted to make sure I wasn't doing anything that was like resulting in more fatness to me, like out of nowhere.
No calorie.
Okay, perfect. Also, the little top container, right? The little top thing. We got an old.
I didn't know that was there.
An oldie in there. You didn't know that was there?
No, that's
you never knew that was there.
No, I didn't know that was there.
Forever.
No, normal cans don't have this. I didn't know that.
What was the point of that? Was that to throw the?
It's to do exactly what you've got in there. It's basically if you need to throw your pouch away, but you're not near a trash can or whatever.
Yep,
that's smart.
You put it in there and then you throw it away.
Okay, all right,
that's smart. The Scandinavian countries, the Danes and the Swedes. That's why you don't see it on a lot of the U.S. stuff. The men, the women, maybe even the kids are chewing over there. The snooze.
Yep.
And so they're always on the go. You just park it there, throw it away later. It's not to store one and use it later, but.
I usually
but technically you could use it later.
I won't rule it out.
I've used them later. I mean, you want them to throw them away. Now there's so many times I've thrown one in and had to throw one right away. Like just been like, shit, I'm going into something, I gotta dump it. But I will say, what do you think the average flavor time is for one in your mouth? What do you guys say it is, or what do you think it is? Because I have an opinion on this.
Typically from our customers, we usually get about like 30 minutes. I would say like 20 to 30 minutes. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I'm saying like 15, 20, but we've had truckers. Actually, we had a dude flying an F-18 Hornet. He was like, I use this for 6-hour combat missions underneath my mask. I was like, Jesus, what?
Yep.
But no, I would say 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. Guys, I think it's like 4 hours. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I mean,
when I throw it in the morning, I have them in until I eat lunch. If I have one in or two in, like I have breakfast in the morning and say I have a meeting at 8, I have them in. I don't take it out until I eat lunch at noon, 12:30. Like no question.
We're trying to get people to consume them at a higher rate.
No, but the point though is if I do 2 a day, and then I do 2 later in the day, and then I go through. I mean, I burn cans. I go through cans.
He's got 1,000 cans at home. I mean,
I don't need
you know what's funny? You don't need to keep them in all day.
I'll tell you what's hilarious. For a long time, I was keeping like all the cans, like I was like a frat boy, like I was gonna tape them all on the wall. I had a shitload in a cardboard box. And it was like, and then I was like, what am I doing keeping these? I threw them all away one day. Yeah. So I do have about 10 in the office right now. And then I always keep on, here are my spots, boys. Golf bag, couple in there, couple in the glove box of the car, or the whatever you call that thing. Couple in the backpack, for work, couple in the gym bag, couple in the at the desk, so they're always accessible.
So he's basically lazy and doesn't want to get up to reach.
Yeah, they're just they're always in hands reach. They're always in an arm's reach. So,
hey, thanks for the support. We appreciate it. I think I'll sap you, but we do appreciate coming on. You guys showing us some love.
No, it was awesome. It's a great idea, great product, and man, I wish you guys all the best of luck in the world.
Yeah. Hey, who's your top? You mentioned Boshi early. Biggest phone call you've got from somebody that's been using the product or email? Any sport?
I don't get each phone calls, but it's like we'll go to spring training and guys will walk up and say hello and stuff. Yeah. I mean, we were Bay Area guys, San Francisco, so Hosey, Kittle. We didn't get to meet Kittle. We reached out on Instagram, and we don't do paid endorsements to players. One, it's expensive, but two, it keeps their relationship just. We're not pitching anything, right? We're not trying to sell anything. And actually, the Red Sox were pretty awesome too. Back in there, when they made their World Series run, we were sitting in there, and it was like Euclid, Pedroia came and grabbed a dry fit, and we're just shooting the shit in the locker room. After like the New Balance, the Nike, and the other reps got asked to leave, I'm sitting there reading the paper like some schmuck going, what am I even doing in here?
Yeah.
Yep.
And those guys are just like grabbing cans and using the product. So it's those experiences more than the one-off.
It's awesome.
Yeah, just be careful. Those professional players, they like free shit, though.
That's true. That's
That's what they're going for.
So I'm going to give you guys your pitch on the way out of here. Getgrinds.com, right? Getgrinds.com.
That's it.
Go to the Instagram, like buy there, buy anywhere. I would say if you dip right now, unbelievable way to quit. If you have dipped or you don't want to start dipping, unbelievable way to do something other than
continue,
that, right?
To
continue on your path. Or if you're just looking for some energy,
yes,
perfect way to do that.
Look at you pitching.
That's it.
I mean, that's it, right? Did I nail that? Like, that's why you use your product. That's why I'm a huge supporter, huge customer. I'm pumped that we got you guys on. And Vio had the shirt on the other day, and then I was like, wait a minute. He knows these guys. We're going to get him. We're going to put him on. So I appreciate you guys coming on.
Big supporter of Vio.
Yeah, likewise, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, if we can help support you guys anyway, maybe even do some Squad Locker stuff, we're in, man. So
You got it, man.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Later, fellas. Have a good one. See ya.
yeah.
See you guys.
Past Our Prime is brought to you by Squad Locker. Squad Locker is your one-stop shop for custom team apparel, delivered right to your front door. Learn more by visiting squadlocker.com.